I'm going to hit record and let's go.
Let's go.
Good evening and welcome to Barb
and Gordy.
See, we're like fucking Siskel and Ebert if they were like cool and shit, really.
They wish they were as cool as us.
Dude, they got nowhere near as much action. I nearly said something rude then.
Hey, let's set the tone. Let's get weird. I'm into it.
Let's do this thing. Bruce is asleep, so, you know.
Good, the kids are in bed.
The kids are in bed. The kids in bed right there, but it is what it is. So, Barb, this basically started off from watching, spoilers, Howard getting melted by Lalo, essentially, with a good 6-week break in between the last episode of Better Call Saul to the one that aired on Tuesday night. And we needed the cuddle. We needed the cuddle.
I needed to talk. I reached out to, I know my sister also watches Better Call Saul. I reached out to her. I asked some people if they watched Better Call Saul because I wanted to talk to them about what I just seen. And obviously, I reached out to Gordy, and because I know I've seen tweets that, you know, confirm that you're a fan of the show and watching it and avoiding spoilers and such. So being as invested in the show as I am, I was like, I know I can have the therapy I need after watching that traumatic episode of seeing Howard just be shot and his life just ended in an instant by a violent psychopath who kills indiscriminately. And that scene really made it harder to like Saul Goodman as a whole, knowing that his actions and Kim's actions inevitably brought Howard to that fate. Their hands have Howard's blood on them. And I love Saul Goodman as a character. I love Jimmy McGill as a character, but when that happened, I liked him less. It was a very hard thing to see. And also, it's not just like killing a random person who's only like in an episode or or a season even. He's been with us since the start. I don't know if he was actually in episode 1, but Howard's been a character who we've seen our opinions of him changed over the course of time. We thought he was like an antithesis to Jimmy McGill at the start, and then we realized he's actually a sympathetic character who's being used by Chuck. And it was so tough to see him just killed in an instant like that. And then in the episode that just aired, to see his body laying out in the open, blood still dripping from his body, stuffed into a refrigerator, dumped into a ditch, where he ends up next to spoilers. There's spoilers for everything.
There are spoilers here.
He ends up in a ditch next to Lalo Salamanca, who, and it's it was pretty symbolic seeing both of those men in that grave together. Howard never did anything, didn't even know of Lalo, but obviously Lalo killed him, and them being in that grave together kind of signified how those two, like, it was just very emblematic of the nature of their relationship, that cartel business just intersected with Howard at the wrong time, and it ended badly for him, and it was just like poetic that they ended up in that grave together in a way. You know what I mean?
Well,
gave you a lot to respond to.
My immediate take after the mid-season break episode wasn't that I hated Jimmy and Kim for bringing Howard there. It was pure shock. It was pure holy fuck. I don't know if you saw. I made a stupid little Gord and Gordy video. In fact, I know you saw it. I sent it to you. So you must have seen it.
Yes, I did. I didn't just receive the message.
You've got one half of me going like that, stroking Bruce, going, and Bruce actually turns around at the point where before the seconds where Howard is shot by Lalo, Bruce actually gets up, turns around, buries his nose in the cushion behind me. So I mean, he's just going to sleep. But in my own head, he's like, I don't want to see this shit. He's doing that. And then, so you got, my macho brain, as it were, going, whew, that was a hard watch, wasn't it? That was a hard watch. And then going across to my character, Glasses Gordy, shall we say, who was also me, but the other aspects of me, shall we say, sat there hugging a cushion, going, what the fuck? What the... Because that was the emotion I felt there. It was I didn't even put into play what I felt about Jimmy, or as Kimmy Corleone, as Rummy calls her, I think, and it was just like, it was hard to digest. It was hard to digest, to say the least. To say the absolute least. But again, like you say, they put him there. They absolutely put him there in that time, at that place. But I don't think they were to blame for Lalo killing him. Yes, he was only there because of them, but then that could have been anybody. That could have been Huel popping round. Oh, by the way, you forgot this at work today, or something.
Yeah.
It could have been absolutely anybody. Lalo's the psychopath there, not Jimmy, not Kimmy. That was, he was just there. It could have been anyone. Could have been absolutely anyone. So, no, I disagree. I disagree with the fact that it's their fault in that respect.
Sure.
Because, again, Lalo, wouldn't have mattered. Could have been the pizza delivery boy coming in. Oh, good. By the way, Johnny, you always do such a good job. Come on in, son. We've got a present for you. It'd have been Johnny. It could have been absolutely anybody. Lalo would have killed them anyway. But going on from that aspect, I mean, people are going to have their own thoughts on that, and I'm sure it's been already well discussed on the internet. But
sure.
As for that, so yeah, they made us wait. How long was it? 6 weeks? I got a feeling it was 6 weeks.
It was about 6 weeks, if not exactly 6 weeks.
Criminal making us wait that long. To be perfectly fucking honest,
sitting with that pain, it was
hurt,
it was shocking too, because it was so sudden. But you also, like, I saw it coming as soon as okay, so let's back up a little bit. There's a scene where he's in a sewer watching the laundry, and he sees the cockroach. And he's like, La Cucaracha. Like the lawyer, he's like, he's a born survivor, La Cucaracha. And as soon as he saw the cockroach, I knew, I was like, he's going to Jimmy. And when Howard showed up at Jimmy's house, and it was the end of the episode, and it felt like it had been running on for a while, I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
I was like, Lalo is going to show up, and he's going to kill Howard. And it just, when Howard appeared that I knew Lalo was then going to also appear. Like, I felt like, so it wasn't super shocking that Howard died, and that I expected it to happen.
It was to me. I didn't think that far into it.
Well, see, but what got me was seeing the violence. Like, it happened so quickly. It really was just like, it was almost like Game of Thrones-esque in that, like, it's just, there was like no, it was just sudden. It was
good Game of Thrones.
Good Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
It was like, it was sudden. It was over. There was no glory. There was no like build up. There was no, he kind of had some last words in a final speech in that he was calling out Jimmy and Kim on, being wise to their bullshit.
Yeah.
But then it was just boom, like, trigger, and when he pulled out his pistol and he's putting the silencer on, it's just like, Howard's dead. I was like, Howard is dead. And when that hand like cut in on that shot and just like pistols against his head, boom, it happened so fast. I was like, even though I knew it was going to happen, it still just like left me feeling jarred.
The only time we'd ever seen Howard fearful from what I saw as well, is like, I'm caught in the middle of something here. And like most of the times, he's either extremely confident, or annoyed, or confused. Never seen him scared. That was the first time we saw him scared, and it was the last time we saw him scared. He was, oh, I should not be here. It was. I mean, I know we're going back 6 weeks or so now, but it was he was like, oh, this is beyond damage to my reputation, damage to my company, damage to anything else. I am in mortal, actual fucking danger here. He knew he was in the shit, and he was like, how do I actually get out of this? And no, you can't. Bang, done.
There was never going to be that option because Lalo, like, I loved him as a character because he was just so
character,
charismatic,
so good,
unpredictable, like charming and scary at the same time.
The perfect anti, well, not anti anything, perfect villain. The perfect villain.
Such a cool shade of like the Salamanca viciousness and
everything Lionel and I forget the name of the other brother, but
Marco.
Everything Lionel, Marco, and Tuco are not. He's the smart one.
And Hector.
Hector.
He's a Salamanca.
He's Hector squared because he has the charm. Hector never had charm. Hector was always an asshole. Horrible. I mean, pissing in the pool at Don Eladio's place before he offs Gus's partner.
Yeah. I mean, but they're all like different shades of like viciousness and or like unpredictability and stuff. Tuco was more like explosive and loud, and Lalo just had like a more kind of cunning and psychopathic. Like this dude just fucking no regard for anybody else's life. Like they're just people in his way. The dude with the travel wire, that body double that he killed in the village. He let his wife cook him breakfast, and then we don't know if he killed her. Maybe he did. I doubt she would have liked to know that her husband was going to die and be used for cartel purposes. But that dude definitely died. He really became a character to like kind of fear because you're like, this dude has potential. Like this dude gets shit done because he's just so fucking crazy.
Yeah, so fucking crazy, so intelligent, so charming, such a sociopath. Just like I say again, Hector squared, because Hector, you could kind of see with Hector in the earlier seasons when he's trying to reason with Mike to not send Tuco to prison. And he's kind of being nice. But then he's like showing the gun and under the table, as it were, with Mike, by saying, yeah, you don't want to send him there. We can give you this money. We can make this happy. We can make it fine. But if you don't, this sort of thing. But with Lalo, he was so much sneakier, and so he was just like. He was the ultimate Salamanca. He was the amalgamation of all of them. That menace, that charm, and just that hair trigger. I mean, we saw it with the people smugglers at the border when he decides he's not going across the border with them, and it's like, give me my money back. He knew full well they weren't going to give him his money back, but he was gonna ask him anyway and give him a chance, and knew full well he was gonna blow him away. Simple as that.
Yeah, and that's like the thing. It's just like because sometimes he like shows restraint. He conversely just like acts so unpredictably and takes extremes with like seemingly no like telegraphing that that's what he's about to do. So like when he showed up and he was like questioning Saul and Kim at the apartment, and then Kim stood up to him and was like, "You need to get your shit together."
Oh shit! That time. Oh my god! Looking back,
Yeah.
what a risk. On a
She had no
second watch,
idea.
I mean, I haven't watched that episode back, but you
Me
just
either.
saying that, I'm gonna watch that back and think, Kim, sit the fuck down. Sit the fuck down. Don't do that. That's gonna be bad.
He may have just been inches away from pulling out a silenced pistol and being like, "I don't, I'm not gonna listen to this."
Well,
And like,
however,
and it wouldn't bother him like in the slightest.
not at all. He could. Right. Your woman
Not
talked too much. However, you need to go and do this. That
Yeah.
could have been exactly how he would like go about it. But with that, brings us forward to the actual episode we've just watched,
Yes, let's talk
whereby
about
Jimmy says, "Send Kim." They won't expect Kim. They won't expect her. She can walk. Hey, you'd answer the door to her, and blah blah blah. And he's like, "Hey, fucking go, yeah, send her."
Mhm.
He didn't give a shit who went, as
Yeah.
long as someone went. He didn't have his heart set on Jimmy going. If he had his heart set on Jimmy going, then Jimmy would have gone.
Right.
He just
And
wanted
wasn't
someone to go there and stir the fucking pot.
That was a clue. Someone realized that, right? It was Gus, because okay, hang on. We'll get to that. I want to talk about this in order. But like when Gus spoke to Kim,
Yes.
like briefly at the end of the episode, I want to make sure we talk about that.
Yeah.
So from the start of the episode, just like the pacing, I wasn't ready for it. I was not ready for it to just like, okay, wait, backing up even before that, when the cold open scene of like the ocean, that was like, okay, we're not in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And then the shoes showing up. I'm
The
like,
shoe.
okay.
As soon as I saw
I
the
was
shoe,
like-
I knew.
I
Yeah.
didn't. It took me a while. It wasn't until I saw the license plate. I saw the car, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh!" I was like, "This is how they're going to explain Howard, like
Yeah.
that he just walked into the ocean or something, because it goes with their story."
Reginald
like I was able
Perrin
to-
is simple as that, but that's
Yeah,
an English
yeah.
reference. But you know,
So I love how they just like addressed that with the opening of the episode with like no real context. But as soon as you see that license plate, it's just like, this is where this
it's
is how they're going to
Breaking
explain
Call Saul. They've got to have a cold open.
Yeah.
They have to. Same as Breaking Bad. They have to have a cold open, which
It was so good though.
which
It
tells
was-
you what the rest of the episode's gonna be, kind of
Sure.
thing. There's
Yeah,
always
definitely
that.
definitely feels Breaking Bad like.
Mm.
But okay, so when we jump back into the action and stuff, and Lalo's like giving this plan, and then like Saul's trying to convince him like send Kim, and Kim's like, Jimmy, no, she's like freaking out. You could like hear the panic in her voice, and like it was just my like heart was like pounding like almost straight away when that stuff started happening, because I was like, this is. Like a minute to minute situation. Howard was just shot, and now this is the stuff that Lalo is like demanding of these two characters. And like the panic was setting in. They were still shocked from seeing Howard killed, and now they're like trying to comprehend this plan that Lalo is demanding that he do. He's like, drive. I drew a map. Park your car. Kill this person. Record it. Take pictures of it.
I would take this route and that route, but you know, yeah, you just do what you want to do. And if it was, yeah, it was really fucking weird. It was really
It was
weird.
intense.
It was
really
like weird.
It was so intense. Like I was afraid for. I was like, what the fuck is going to happen here? And okay, so then cut to that scene where Kim's driving and the cops pull up next to her, and like she literally has her window down. They have their window down. She
What
looks
is the window?
and she just like says nothing. It was so clear to see like how conflicted she was about doing that, and that she didn't do it, I think underscored that she understood the importance of like not deviating from the plan. She knows what's at stake. Jimmy's tied up there, presumably with. She doesn't know Lalo was going to leave. She thinks Lalo's still with him and is going to kill him.
Yeah,
So
but
she's
Jimmy,
like, I don't-
I
I
thought
will do
Jimmy
whatever
made it
keeps
quite
Jimmy
clear.
alive.
Fucking go, just go. You know, sort of thing. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
like-
that he wasn't
yeah.
saying do the mission. He was
Yeah,
saying
he was-
go. I'm dead. This is done.
Yes.
You live.
Yeah.
You go. that seemed pretty obvious to me. But
Yeah. Now that you mentioned that, that didn't jump out at me as much, but like I totally see
straight
it now
away for
playing
me,
it back in my head, like when he was like, "You gotta go," like that was him saying goodbye in the way that the situation allowed, with Lalo standing there with a silenced pistol. Um, so yeah, that's actually like that's pretty poignant, and I didn't pick up on that, I think, as much. I think he definitely did expect Kim to just drive away, but that she didn't. It was actually not only committed to the mission, but like not involving the police. Like that says a lot about
as well.
what she would do for Jimmy.
Yeah.
Like she would literally kill somebody for him, which
She
is
got to
just
that door.
crazy to me.
She got to that door. All that build up, everything else. She got to that door. She rang the doorbell, and was like this, and had got that far before Mike disarmed
actually
her, got
had
her
it out.
inside. She
She actually like was raising it and was getting ready to shoot before like Mike came up and lowered the weapon and brought her inside.
But she was going to do it. She was going to do it. She was like, no. We have to succumb to this psycho. But then that's Kim. I mean, there's been lots of deep dives on Kim's psyche and everything else. How she's
Sure.
a pleaser. She has to do. You know, she even wanted to please her mum by stealing and things like this. And then
Yeah.
when her and Jimmy finally got together, it was like, all right, we'll run this con. We're going to do this. And she commits 100% to whatever it is she's going to do. And she was fully ready to blast Gus in the face.
Oh yeah.
And not stop pulling that trigger until it went dry.
Yeah.
And insane. That,
So,
I mean, you know, who wouldn't want a woman like that?
Yeah, for
I mean,
sure. That's a keeper. Kim's a
she's
real
a
one.
keeper. She's a keeper.
She's a keeper.
I'd set up a bank account with was it Alpha 030 or whatever the fuck the Alpha Station Zebra, Station Zebra.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd set up a bank account with that as the name if you know if she asked us. But
Yeah.
she was all in. She was gonna do it.
So then, okay, let's talk about this phone call, right? Gus puts her on.
Okay.
And
so we're
this
skipping forward a bit here, obviously. I mean, people have seen this, but we're skipping forward a bit here. Mike is already gone out, taking some boys. We're going to do this shit. Right. We need to, you know, see what's going on at the McGills or
yes,
the Goodmans.
that scene where they all just like converge. It starts as just Mike, and then a dude comes in from behind him, and then everybody else links up.
Loads of them.
In synchronicity, it was definitely made their organization feel pretty coordinated and well put together. Although that's shortly undone when Lalo gets the jump on them at the laundry. But again, we'll get to that, because before that happens, after Mike left with the men and does that and finds Jimmy, Gus calls his guard who's keeping watch over Kim, who they have detained in custody, and he asks her why, who sent you, or why were you sent? And she said, or somehow something is said that Gus learns Jimmy convinced him to send me instead.
He talked Lalo out of it.
Yes, that's what it was, and that was suspicious to Gus, right? He was like, "What? He talked Lalo out of it," and that meant something to him. What exactly did that mean to Gus? Like, it told him something about what Lalo's intentions were, right? Like that it clearly tripped some sort of.
The Salamancas don't get talked out of anything.
Right.
If they've got their mind set on a certain path, they do not deviate from that path. Yeah, sure. And you can look at Lionel and Marco. They are straight fucking forward until they get the order from a senior Salamanca to say stop.
Mm-hmm.
They do not deviate from whatever path they're on. If they're on a path and they're set on that path, then they don't stop. But Jimmy somehow talked Lalo out of sending Jimmy and instead sent Kim. But this has just occurred to me. Jimmy talked Tuco out of killing the the twins, the skateboarders.
That's very true.
Jimmy does have the gift of the gab. We all know this. But then Gus doesn't know Jimmy yet. Or Saul.
I believe he's aware of him.
He's aware of him, but I don't think they've had a conversation. Have they in Better Call Saul? I don't know if they have.
I don't think so.
I don't think they have.
Saul he knows a guy who knows a guy who knows another guy. You know what I mean? Like,
he's one of them.
He's not like canonically already connected as someone who interacts with Gus. So I feel like I feel like Gus would probably maintain some degree of separation from a lawyer like Saul.
He tends to, yeah. But with that, the only contact he's ever had through Saul, and I can't think of a single actual time they have. Saul has never acted on Gus's behalf or for Gus's people. Mike, obviously, Nacho, but never Gus. So yeah, that whole he talked him out of it.
They did interact at the start. There was that episode where Mike sends Saul in, and he like drops his watch in the trash can, and then Gus is like, "Can I help you?" And they have that confrontation. He's like, "Oh, I just dropped my watch in the trash," and he's like, "Oh, allow me." And he puts on a glove and he fishes it out of the trash for him. So they do have that like one innocuous interaction.
Yeah, that's a lot of draw.
that was young Jimmy, not. That was young Jimmy and the restaurateur Gus, not Saul Goodman and Gus Fring.
Yeah,
the drug kingpin. So I don't think they have not associated in that capacity.
No. But with that, I mean, to be fair, it was like you say, it was that whole he talked him out of it, and so then, well, Gus had the realization, well, this is a diversion technique. He wants to be somewhere else. He's going to be at the compound.
Mm-hmm. And that's where he then heads to, I believe. Right? When he leaves. He says, like, "You come with me," and then he pulls in to the laundry while Gus and his guys, or Mike and his guys, are out at the Goodman's apartment. And my God, when Lalo gets out of the car and like jumps over just walks through the gate or whatever and jumps over the fence, and he was this close to being caught by the cameras. If those cameras were worth a fuck, they would have had like some kind of like motion detector that would have captured the recording.
You've played too much Hitman.
Guilty as charged.
Yeah, right. He'd have had yellow guns at least.
He just in that guard was like a fucking split second away from catching him on the monitors. He got so lucky. He easily could have been spotted if that guard was at his station, and the whole thing would have gone very differently. Snuck in through the fan. Gus arrives. That scene of tension building where he looks up and he notices the fan not moving, and he turns around. He sees the laundry rack swinging, and that crescendo, that tension like sound that's like building in the background is finally then just like cut through by like gunfire, and you're like, yeah, oh shit, he's back there and he's fucking shooting, and dispatches 5 men. Like it's nothing. Like he's a fucking.
He must have had mouse and keyboard.
He must have, or aim hacks.
Aim hacks. Knowing Lalo, he had aim hacks.
He definitely wasn't playing fair. But just like it's nothing, and then boom,
and
Gus,
smiling
at gunpoint.
I've got you now, fucker. And I'm going to turn on this camcorder, and away we go. But,
away they go.
And they do.
And seeing, obviously we know Gus is not going to die because he dies later by Walter White and Hector Salamanca. So we're like, okay, clearly there's no reason to worry about Gus dying here, but we're made to feel afraid, like, how the fuck is he going to get out of this? Like, he could be shot at any moment. He could be cut down in the middle of speaking a sentence, or, you know, so like, how is it going to progress in a way where that doesn't happen? And then those stakes are explained as, you know, Lalo is like talking him through, walking him down into the pit, and says that he's like, you know, all he dug himself was a tomb. Gives Gus his moment to talk some shit,
which was awesome.
It was awesome, but I was like, Lalo's the type of guy to just interrupt you in the middle of your rant with a gunshot to the head. So like,
well, he'd
like,
never seen the Chicken Man like that. He must have been fascinated, because
I think so.
And that was the great thing, because we never see Gus lose his shit and like start having a go. Maybe the time he cut. Well, spoilers for Breaking Bad, which came out a long time ago now. But when he cut Tyrus's throat in front of Jesse,
Victor.
Mike, and Victor.
Victor. Tyrus was blown up with him in the room.
Oh,
at the end.
Right, my bad. That's my fault. I am, really bad at faces and stuff.
How dare you?
How dare I, indeed? But yeah, when he cut the dude's throat with the box cutter in front of Mike, Jesse, and Walt, and he's like, and then he give it. He went off on a bit of a monologue then, and of course when he killed Hector. But up to this point,
when he cut the throat,
when he was there.
He didn't say anything. I'm pretty sure he arrived, he said nothing, he got dressed, he stood behind Victor, cut his throat,
and just walked off.
Got undressed, walked away, and then right before he left out of the door, he said, "Get back to work."
See,
and,
unhinged.
And that was it.
Unhinged.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it wasn't a rant, but like it still was unhinged.
To my mind, if my boss said that to me, I consider that a rant. I'd be really right. Yeah, you're right. I'm remembering it differently, but yeah. Well, again, then, perfect. You never see him go off on one. You don't ever see him lose his shit. But he was giving you whores. You do it for money.
You greasy bloated pimp.
You greasy bloated pimp. I mean, he let it all hang out, didn't he?
It was cool to see. Yeah. It was cool to see.
He knew that Lalo let him go. He's like, hey, Chicken Man, got some balls. And with that, you can't see me kicking the floor here, but he kicked the connector, dimmed the lights, had body armor on, beautiful move, knew where the gun was, click, 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 and got him.
Firing in the dark, only being able to have an idea of where Lalo was from whatever the flashes.
Well, from the gun flash,
were,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And also, I think he did end up getting hit while he was running, because that's what the doctors were removing at the end. He only got shot once in the chest by Lalo when he was wearing the body armor.
I was going to say, was it from that? Because that would just give him a big bruise, wouldn't it?
That wound was down on his abdomen. It was down lower, okay. So he actually did. Lalo would have hit him, but that body armor saved his life. And I also wanted to talk about that scene in a previous episode where Gus was down there and he thought to stash that gun there.
He was having a good old look around, wasn't he, that scene? He was like, there, I'm putting a gun there.
He was like, what was his thought process when he was down there scanning that room?
He was
deciding to leave that gun there. You're right, he was still paranoid. I guess he was almost expecting for Lalo to confront him
Well,
at the laundry.
well,
Like
Lalo had already been suspicious that something had been going on down there and everything
he
else. And
was invited
because
in,
yeah, he invited him in, showed him around. This is what I'm doing and everything else.
but it was like upstairs, right? Like
Yeah.
it was not
Well, he
inclusive
knew
of.
it's well, I'd say he
Yeah,
knew
he knew he was up to something, but
he was out to something, but Gus like, well, comes down to it, he's gonna want to showboat. He's gonna want to do this. Yeah, let's put myself some insurance in here. Let's have a gun there. I mean, I can understand it. It's the sort of thing I did when I built my drug lab under, this place. I mean, that's what I would do.
it
Delete
definitely.
that, Barb.
You're the one recording.
Yeah, I am. Fuck.
That's on you. That's on your to-do list. It just really speaks to like how paranoid he was, but also how, I guess, competent of a foe Gus was for Lalo. Because while Lalo did subvert a lot of Gus's defenses and his resources and stuff, Gus still came out on top. But it was this fucking close.
Last
Like,
ditch effort, because nobody should get that close to him. That's
and Lalo
the whole
could have.
point. He's got Mike, he's got Tyrus, he's got all these guys looking after him, and yet it still came down to the fact that it had to be a showdown.
Honestly, I love it from a fan perspective, though. Like, and also it makes sense the way that it happened, the way that they wrote it, in my opinion. It's not like you're like, what? This doesn't make any sense. Like, it makes perfect sense. Yeah, crap, I lost my train of thought. What were we talking about?
It makes sense the way that they wrote it. The fact that Gus had the gun down there. We saw that whole thought process leading up to him setting the trap.
His paranoia and also his just knowledge that like Lalo was coming for him. So like he felt that that confrontation or things escalating to that point was just inevitable. And he was right. He was right to prepare, and it was just really cool to see that face off between these two figureheads of opposing drug empires have that tense of a moment where it's literally all on the line for Gus. We feel safe because we know we see him in Breaking Bad, but it's like they couldn't have ratcheted up the tension like any more than they did, especially it literally boiling down to Lalo firing shots at Gus as he's running for cover.
Now,
And the only reason he's able to get away is because he's holding a camera, the lights go off, he's like suddenly, Gus gave himself the best advantage that he could have in that situation. Really cool to see.
Now this is kind of, excuse me, this is kind of my problem with the episode though, and this is the strange thing. 6 weeks we've been waiting for this. And the entire time, we know Gus lives. We know Jimmy lives. We know Mike lives. Kim, big variable. We don't know what happens to Kim. We've got all the theories. We've all seen the YouTube videos, iStation, Zebra, and everything else. And we know Lalo's not there because otherwise he'd be there somewhere in Breaking Bad. So this entire episode, I'm watching it, and yes, they do ratchet the tension up and everything else, and it's a good watch. Hang your brain up at the door, watch it. Awesome. Can't recommend this series enough. But this was my problem with it. It's like I found it hard to get scared.
Sure.
The difference with when Howard got shot, it was the shock value. I was that guy hugging the pillow and like, oh my fucking god, they just done that. But this episode, and with all these little loose ends tied up, Well, we don't see Howard in Breaking Bad. We know he's gone. Start of the episode, we see the shoe floating. It's like, that's clearly Howard's shoe. And then pan out Lamaste on the license plate. Okay, yep, that's how they've dealt with him. Lalo.
Seeing him. Sorry, I just wanted to throw in real quick.
Carry on.
Seeing him like loaded up into the refrigerator, just like the fact that they make you, they just keep making you see Howard's dead, like
the glazed eyes.
It keeps the impact of it like meaningful throughout the whole episode. When you see him like thrown into the ditch and like picked up and his body just swung around, it's sad.
The blood seeping as well across the edge of the rug, and Jimmy trying to get out of his chair and falling over and being face to face with Howard. Kind of cliche, but powerful. At the same time, Jimmy's got to face the fact it's like, shit, you're dead, and that's probably my fault, even though I don't think it is, but it is. And everything else, but yes, that was my. It's a big problem with the series, the entire series of Better Call Saul in general, whereby you know who's gonna survive, and the ones that are in there, you don't know if they have or haven't survived up until certain points. I mean, Nacho, his death was. I hate to use the term glorious, but it was very well done. He got a good send-off. Howard's was shocking at the time, but this episode, this latest episode, was dealing with the entire aftermath of that, and the way it was being ramped up with Lalo. It was going to come down to him and Gus. We knew this. We'd already been told this by Gus hiding that gun where he hid it 3 episodes ago, whenever the fuck it was. And so it was hard to me. It was hard for me to feel any sort of fear for any of the characters. But don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the hell out of it. I did still enjoy it, but it was like I kind of already know what's going to happen, what the end result's going to be. I just want to see how it's going to go.
Yeah, that's fair. I think it's probably hard for a lot, even people who are like easily able to get emotionally invested in shows and characters and stuff.
I'm one of those. I am such a tart for that.
Same. I'm one of those people too. But like you said, no, like people who've watched Breaking Bad know Gus. This is not where he dies.
No.
You know, it's just a question of, like you said, how is it going to resolve and what's going to happen to Gus in that process. And I think another really important thing that we saw was how scared Gus was when he was like emptying that clip, and he was just like panicking, and we see him like
he was still
slowly,
clicking. He was still clicking. Yeah,
he was trying to. If he had an extended mag, he'd probably still be shooting to this day. Just like we really see how shaken he was and pushed to like the edge of his limit in that encounter. So yes, like it wasn't so high stakes that we're like, oh no, is our sweet Gus going to survive to the next episode?
Our sweet Gus!
Our poor sweet Gus, is he gonna make it out of this? Yeah, we know Gus is gonna live a long, happy life up until he meets Walter White shortly thereafter.
As do a lot of people. They live long, happy lives up until they meet that prick.
They, knowing the boundary that they had to stay inside, they still like did a damn good job making it tense and just feel high stakes. And it's like how, even if we were aware of the gun, or if people had forgotten about the gun, maybe over the 6-week break or something, the fact that it was there and you know, he ran to it and under the cover of the light was just still really cool to see his own kind of like just a culmination of his ability to like counter plan and follow his gut and his intuition on what the right thing to do or prepare for a possible encounter was. And it worked out. Like he made some good calls, keeping him distracted, having the gun there ready, it's very much like appropriate for the like super villain that he is to us in Breaking Bad, chronologically in the whole story of everybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, it really explains his just his demeanor and ability to be calculating and why he shouldn't be underestimated. It was close. It was as close as it could have been, but he triumphed, and that was really cool to see.
I mean, we already knew an awful lot about Gus and his absolute badassery from Breaking Bad. Clearly, I mean, you know, from that flashback when Hector kills Gus's. I don't want to say boyfriend, but I think it was basically his boyfriend, wasn't it?
Max, his partner Max. Yeah,
Yeah.
I honestly don't know.
I think they were
Could be.
If they weren't in a sexual relationship or wherever, he cared for him deeply. Clearly,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
A very important person to him.
yeah, he built a monument to him in his little in his home villa, whatever the fuck that is.
Yeah, I don't think you'd be wrong to infer that.
Yeah,
I think that's valid, but I also think it's not, since it's not explicitly stated. Like
No.
you know, it could probably be something else too. But like the impact of it is
it
still.
could have been his best bloody friend. Who cares? You know,
Yeah.
it was his best friend, and he was murdered by some asshole who he has made it his life's work to not just kill him, but his family and all his associates, and fuck them right at end, which we know he did a pretty good job of.
Yeah,
To be fair,
he sure did. He
to
sure
be
did.
absolutely fair. But yeah, it was. But it was one of the things that there as well was when they threw Lalo's body into the grave. It's like left, right, whee, off he goes. But when they were putting Howard in the grave, Mike was there easy, put him in gentle, and which goes to show again. Not that we don't need telling. Mike is like he's very much, if they're not in the game, you don't touch them. You know,
Yeah.
you don't hurt them as such. And he knew Howard wasn't in the game. And again, it just goes to show a bit more of Mike's humanity, I would say.
Yeah, how someone can be in that kind of work but still have humanity and feel conflicted
Well, you saw
about
with how
their
he took
role
the
in
kid.
it. How do you mean?
Miss Wexler, I need you to calm down. I need you to calm down. Miss Wexler.
Yeah.
Miss Wexler.
Yeah.
Not like another thug would do, as it were. Miss Wexler, what is the matter? Right, why are you here? What is going on? You know, I do not expect this of you. Why are you in this position right now?
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, Mike is. I mean, he was a bent cop. He's a cop killer. Yes, his son was drawn into that life and was murdered, and he killed he killed his killers, and he's now in this life, which certainly doesn't make him a good guy. But my God, you can't help but want Mike to win.
I love Mike.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't?
His character in Breaking Bad, like easily like one of my favorites, up there with Saul too. Like two of my favorite characters from Breaking Bad, and we really got to see Mike like kind of come into his own and just be in charge of like his different guys and the different security setup and stuff. Like that's peak. Like that's what you want to see Mike doing, is like solving problems and cleaning situation. He's a fixer. He's a you know, he makes problems go away, and that was the coolest thing to see him do in Breaking Bad. And it's just been so great to see him doing more of that all throughout Better Call Saul. Well, at least once he got out of the fucking parking booth, but even then, before then, like, I mean, he was getting up to some shenanigans. But
Of
I mean, it
course.
was nice. Like, I feel like they really eased us into it. It started so innocent and wholesome with a skateboard scam and Mike working a parking booth and doing some smuggling work for Jimmy with the Kettleman's money and stuff. You know, like, and then it's just I'm just thinking back across the past how many seasons? 6 seasons now? More episodes than Breaking Bad?
Yeah, I
Even?
think so. Yeah.
It's like I love it. I love the journey that all of the characters I think that they've gone through. And obviously we still have a couple more episodes to go, so this is by no means like a closing statement on everything, but like
Sure.
just seeing everyone on their own journey and stuff. It's such a wild ride, and it's so well done. It's so cool
Have
to see
you
Jimmy scamming and Mike enforcing and fixing problems, and Gus just being cold calculating.
Gus?
He's had so many good scenes. The scene where he like puts that zip tie bag over that dude's head when they're like
Oh
leaving
yeah,
the drug deal. Like, really awesome scene. The scene where he's walking away from the Los Pollos Hermanos that burns or explodes because of the chicken over the fryer. Such a badass scene.
yeah.
Carries that big bad Gus energy.
Yeah, Giancarlo go on, help me out here.
Esposito.
Thank you. He's great. He's fucking great. But the thing is, well, again, going back to what you were saying about Mike, the whole curve that he goes on, and which is basically, again, I say it again, but going from Jimmy to Saul. We've been watching this whole transition from Jimmy to Saul, and the Saul in Breaking Bad is not the Saul we've got at the minute still. So there is still
quite.
some work to be done, isn't there? Because the Saul in Breaking Bad, he is kind of heartless.
Yeah, it certainly seems that way. There's definitely more, I think, to come as far as like what we're going to see in the
He's
remaining
much
episodes.
crueler. He's much more cruel. Is Saul? He's like
Detached from his.
Yeah. I mean, there's even
You
a bit
know-
with Francesca. You go, God, I could spend all day looking at that booty, and you can't
Yeah.
imagine him talking to Francesca like that now. I mean, obviously, Kim's still around
Right.
and things, but yeah, it's there's still way more to be done with Jimmy, and the one question I want answered, Kim, what happens? What happens
Yeah.
to Kim? I really
really-
want to know what happens to Kim.
The fact that they've already resolved the Howard and Lalo
Nacho.
dilemma and Nacho, like all of the characters who aren't in Breaking Bad are basically gone,
Yeah.
except for Kim. I really think she's the only one that needs to be accounted for, and that's clearly what
She's
the
the
last.
biggest one. She is
Yeah,
the
that's-
biggest one.
I think that, and also some like post Breaking Bad events are going to be very important in the final 6 episodes, because not only do we have to see Saul continue to transform a bit more into who he is in Breaking Bad, but we're also going to see what happens after, like in the Gene timeline.
Oh
And
shit!
I'm-
Yeah. I forgot about that.
I'm really excited for that. Like,
The
there's
cab
still,
driver.
yeah, that's the problem. I
Yeah.
know, he's like, do the thing. I recognize you. Blah blah blah. Like, that's a big problem for a lawyer who's on the run, who used to represent the cartel people, someone who can be blackmailed, and certainly, yeah, Saul, Gene, Jimmy understands the threat that person poses. So we have to see how that resolves.
And has decided he's going to take care of that himself.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
he went to go get the super wet vac nozzle 32150.
And then he decided something.
And he was like, "It's okay, I'll sort it myself."
Yeah, he's like, I'm not running anymore, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that's what he says or if that's just the that he
near
embodies.
as damn it is the swearing. He basically made that assertion. He's like, who the fuck's this guy? I'm gonna have him. I'm Gene. I'm Saul. I'm Slipping Jimmy. I am the man, and I'm not being taken down by this fucking random cab driver.
Right.
I'm having this dude. And yeah, I get it.
And I also wonder in what capacity we're going to see Aaron Paul and Bryan Cranston return as well.
They make an appearance? Is this an internet, like, they're going to make an appearance, like, announcement thing?
Yeah, we just don't know. It's pretty safe to assume that they're going to show up, right? Because we see that scene with Saul where he's in his office and he's like, it's all disheveled and torn apart and stuff, and he's like digging for a box and stuff like that. So there's clearly events that are occurring during the time where
they're going to be flash forwards.
We're not sure exactly in what capacity we're going to see, Jesse and Walt. Like, is it going to be during that Breaking Bad time, like just stuff that we didn't see during Breaking Bad, or I don't know. I want to think that it's going to be like
timeline sort of thing, you know, to aid that rather than the actual Better Call Saul thing.
That would make sense too.
We know he didn't. We know he didn't meet Walt until he met him in the classroom in that Breaking Bad episode.
Mm-hmm.
To be perfectly honest, I try and stay away from any sort of videos on spoilers and things like that, because I'm a fight fan, so I like to watch a fight without knowing who's going to win, and I like to watch a film. If I hear about a film coming out, I don't watch the trailer if I can help it, because they always fucking spoil everything in the trailer, and TV programs are no better at that, so I always stay the fuck away from them. So I don't know. I haven't seen anything like that. I try not to watch it. So unless it's a cameo of them in the background doing something while Jimmy's in the foreground, as it were, then the timelines sort of sync up. Then I don't know. But again, for saying that, I mean, Saul turned up in season 1 of Breaking Bad, I think, and he was already pretty. No,
wasn't season 1. It was like season 2 or 3. The episode's literally called Better Call Saul. I think it's episode 2.
Is it before?
Or season? No, sorry, season 2.
Okay, well in that case, like I say, I still think there's a lot of work to be done because he's still Jimmy at the minute, working as Saul.
Right.
For him to become full Saul, there's a lot to be done yet. So yeah, for that transition over 3-4 episodes, whatever we got left, would be a bit much for me.
Yeah.
But then I'm sat here in this room, and they're in a hollowed out volcano. Oh, sorry, you're in a hollowed out volcano with shitloads of minions and things like that.
Yes, that's actually what is burning behind me, is a pile of minions.
Yes, well, as is deserved. It's unreal you're not wearing a suit to watch this thing, as the TikTok goes. But
I'm just used to the ambient temperature by now. I have an AC going across the room
it's hot as balls, isn't it?
Counteract a little bit of this, especially back here. So I'm hot from the back, cold from the front. It's a good compromise.
Hot right here, baby.
But yeah, hot where it counts. I imagine we'll probably do another one of these after the next episode comes out. Kind of talk about some more implications of whatever's happening directly after the episode, and also as it relates to previous episodes. Next Monday can't get here soon enough.
Oh, yours come out on Monday. Mine don't come out till Tuesday on this side.
Yeah,
so
Monday night for me.
Monday night,
US.
so Tuesday morning, I might have to fake an internet outage for work. I work from home, so I might have to fake another internet outage so I can just sit here. Just look.
Yeah, keep that plan on standby. That sounds like a good one in my book.
Fucking right. And by the way, boss, I'm only joking. If you're watching this, why?
He's not.
Why?
Ask him to subscribe if he's not subscribed.
Yeah, like and subscribe. Click the bell notification. Don't forget to comment down below.
Never forget to comment. If you don't comment on a YouTube video, have you even watched it?
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
If you haven't uppercut the subscribe button, what are you even doing on YouTube?
Uppercut. I like.
Gotta.
Oh shit! I pressed the mic wrong bit.
You actually uppercut your microphone. That's
I
power.
do. Yeah.
Pure power on display.
It's cupping the balls of the microphone, basically.
I like that gentle approach.
I was streaming the other day. Someone hit follow, and thank you for the follow. I'll see you in 10 minutes when you can chat, because there's a 10-minute delay until you can start chatting. Instant whisper. Yeah, I'm gonna unfollow. I'm not into this whole 10-minute having to wait thing. He's like, oh no, that hurts my heart. Don't fuck yourself. You actually you didn't just unfollow and fuck off somewhere else. No, you had to whisper me and tell me that was bullshit. Like, fuck off.
Some people just have too much time on their hands. Whenever someone presents some kind of interaction like that, I feel bad. I just feel bad for them. You know, I'm not even like, oh, my feelings are hurt. It's just like, dude, you're embarrassing yourself.
Yeah, why would you send me that message? Fuck off. I don't care. It's okay. I've got people that will send me messages in chat, give me a load of shit, and they've waited 2 years to give me loads of shit, so it doesn't matter.
Sure.
But Barb, final thoughts on the latest episode of Better Call Saul, Season 6, Episode 8, I believe?
A lot of story threads have sort of been tied up. There may be some ramifications of those. Obviously, with Howard's death, we're going to see how that affects Jimmy and Kim, and what other people in the world notice. Cliff Main probably going to notice. Maybe Mesa Verde Kevin might notice and say something. Rich Schweikart, always enjoyed seeing him. He's a great character.
Yeah.
There's a lot that I hope we get to see over the last couple episodes, and being in the final stretch of it all makes me kind of sad, because it's going to be ending, and I thought we said goodbye when Breaking Bad was over, and that made me sad. So Better Call Saul made me so incredibly happy, because I was like, yes, more Mike, more Saul, more Gus. We get to see these really cool characters that were so impactful in the story of Breaking Bad fleshed out even further, and it's been so great. So I'm sad that it's coming to an end, but I'm really excited to see what else gets to happen, and I'm also very interested to see how the whole situation with Kim is resolved, and I think that's going to be one of the biggest focuses, in addition to what's going on with the Gene storyline. But what comes of Kim is really the biggest question, I think, on everybody's mind. So, gonna tune in every single night for the new episodes. I'm not missing a single one. As soon as it's live on AMC Plus, boom, I'm there. I'm watching.
The Kim thing for me is the biggie. To be honest, as far as I'm concerned, we already know Gus, Mike, Saul. We know where they are, what they do.
Sure.
Kim's the one for me. I need to know what happens to her, and I'm not gonna lie, I just hope she's safe. I just hope she's safe. I've really grown attached to that character that was supposed to be a one note. She was supposed to be in it for half of season 1. Much like Jesse Pinkman was only supposed to be in half of season 1 of Breaking Bad. But we gave a fuck, didn't we? We actually cared. We actually cared what was going to happen to that character, and it's like we can actually do more with these people. There is a kernel of something that the people like, and what the people like is real fucking characters, you know.
And real relationships too, but between
God, yeah,
characters
I give
that
a
are
shit about Jimmy and Kim. I was like, when they got together, yes, fucking fair play, son. You're punching way above your weight, but fucking hell, Lalo did actually say that as well. You with her? Hey, good boy, sort of thing. But yeah, no, you give a fuck about these people, and no, Kimmy, I want to see where she goes, man. I want to see what happens to her. I want to see that Ice Station Zebra is exactly what all the conspiracy theories think. That she survives, and every now and again they meet up for a little kiss and canoodle, and they fuck off back to their, you know, whatever their witness protection lives are or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how to put it. But yeah.
Yeah. We'll be watching very intently and communicating very closely over the next however many weeks we have. 7 weeks of episodes. It's gonna hopefully make the summer fly by. But I look forward to the next one and opening up this can of worms yet again. It's always such a joy to talk about it. And, with
and again, dude, thank you for reaching out after the mid-season finale, because it's like, dude, I need to talk to someone. I need a hug. This hurt, and we needed to fucking talk about that. We didn't record it very well last time. However, hopefully we got it this time. But
we'll see, Gordy.
We'll see.
Okay.
Well, with that then, Barb, thank you ever so much for joining me for this Roulette Rivals. No, hang on, wrong chat. Thanks for coming on and having a chat with us about the latest episode of Breaking Call Saul.
I'm happy
late here. Fuck, it's midnight.
Happy as always to do it, my friend.
Well, I shall speak to you soon, and if you've watched this whole thing and you don't think we're pricks, GG's.
Comment and uppercut. Comment and uppercut.
Comment and uppercut. And yeah, just live your life. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.